Welcome to the Cheat Sheet, where we decode success for creators, professors, and business owners. I'm your host, King Musa, and today we'll be diving into the world of athletics, where mentorship and academic success play are key for student athletes. Today, we have Tez Coleman with us, the athletic advisor at Stephen F. Austin State University. Tez plays a vital role in ensuring that student athletes excel both in sports and in the classroom. Let's hear about his journey and how he helps out SFA students strike a balance between academics and athletics. Welcome, Tez.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, man.
Yes, sir, man. I'm glad you made it here. Before we get started, a little icebreaker. Athletic advisor. I gotta know, what sport did you play and how long did you play? Things like that.
I got you. I grew up all my life playing football and basketball. Those were the two sports to me.
Yeah.
Like I said, started at a young age, probably like 6 years old, played those all the way through middle school, high school. Was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to play football at a small NAIA school, Kentucky Christian. Played 4 years there, and that was it.
Yes, sir. Okay, and then into advising. I'll take it.
Yes, sir.
I got the chance to play. I started in football, of course, and then by high school, I got to do wrestling.
Oh,
And
really?
That changed.
That
a
wrestling
lot.
is different.
Yeah.
Like anybody that can get into wrestling, I always say like
Yeah.
you're different. 'Cause the weight cuts and
Yeah,
wrestling and the conditioning for that is like you said,
crucial.
it's different. Yeah.
It's crucial. Stamina is all you work on.
Yeah, I could never
Um,
do that.
But it was completely different. It brought this individual mentality. Like
Mhm.
we're still a team technically, but I can surpass my team. Like
Yeah.
my team might not make it,
Yeah, but you
I
might.
can keep going.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so I'm in football, play linebacker and running back. So I'm like, all right.
You can do your job, but
Right,
if y'all ain't scoring no points, you probably not winning.
It started at the snap. If the line not right, I
Yeah.
can't do nothing at all.
Exactly.
So I had to switch over there, and it got pretty fun. Then I got a concussion my senior year. This is my fourth reported one.
Nah,
And they were
nah.
like, yeah, you're done. And
Yeah,
I'm
nah.
like,
I was fortunate enough. I think I maybe had one.
yes, sir.
I wasn't diagnosed with a concussion, but I
Yeah.
think I had one in high school. I mean, it's funny, me and my dad were just talking about it. He was
Yeah.
like, I swear you had a concussion. He was like, we spoke. He was like, you seemed fine after the game. He was like, the next day you were talking about we didn't speak.
Right.
And I was like, I really don't remember that. Even to
Right.
this day, he was like, yeah, you were definitely concussed. And I
Yeah.
was like, maybe.
I hit two of them. I was like, I'm in districts right now. I can't
Yeah.
let it go. But let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you do here at SFA.
Yes, sir. My name is Domantez Coleman. I go by Tez. Here at SFA, I'm the athletic academic advisor
Yes,
for
sir.
the men's and women's basketball team. I have bowling as well.
Okay.
So basically, just on a day-to-day, what I do is host study hall
Mhm.
for men's and women's basketball. Just ensure that they're doing everything that they need to do as far as academics go. Looking at their homework for the week, if they're traveling,
Right.
just taking consideration all these different things and just making sure that everything's getting done. If they have any questions, answering those questions, providing them with the resources that they may need to be successful. Tutors,
Right.
meeting with their teachers, advising them on, what classes, you'll have to take in the future, why this is so important. Obviously, you've heard it before, student, athlete, athlete second, student first.
Right.
So, and I get it, a lot of kids, especially in today's world, it's tough to put that student first.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I'm here for, just to make their lives a little bit easier with the student and the academics part.
Yes, sir. Listen, I have a list of academic advisors that I'm supposed to talk to,
Yeah.
and
You've never met
I-
any of them?
no, that's right. The rest of them I haven't. I have two of them. But even for me, at first, when you get here, you don't think about your advisor as
Mm-hmm.
so prominent, somebody that can really help you out. You're just here to help me get to my next class.
Exactly.
And that's it. But as you was describing what your job is, what your role is, and
Mhm.
who you are, that's the part most people skip over. Like, y'all are actually here to
Exactly.
make sure you're in class, you're taking care of study work, things like that. But we're gonna find out more of how to actually access all those things and
Exactly.
how
Yes, sir.
how you make it work. Let's take a quick step back. Where are you from? How many siblings? Did your parents go to college?
Gotcha.
Things like that. Get a little background. And
Alright.
how did you fall in love with maybe advising? Like, where did the
Where did that
option of
start?
advising start at?
Got you. So I'm from a small town in Tennessee.
Right.
It's called Dixon, Tennessee. I always tell people Nashville because nobody ever knows where
Right.
Dixon. So it's like 30 minutes outside of Nashville.
Okay.
Grew up there. My Mom could have went. She did not go to college. My dad didn't go to college. So my
Yeah.
dad drove trucks growing up. My mom was a manager at a company called Fred's.
Right.
So she did that for however many years. Now she works at Murphy's.
Okay.
I have one sibling, and then I have a step sibling as well. So I have an older sister who just turned 30 recently, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And then I have a step brother as well. And then I have nieces and nephews now that my sister's older. She's
Okay.
had kids.
So you're the middle?
I'm the baby
Baby.
of
Okay.
me and my sister, but I have nieces and nephews, so
Gotcha.
they're the babies now.
Yes,
so.
sir. Did your parents go to college? What about your siblings too?
My sister went to Austin P for, I want to say 2 years.
Okay.
Eventually, just dropped out. Just decided to go to work.
Yes, sir.
My mother and my father did not.
Okay.
Not that I know of.
So what made you pursue college? And then, what made you pursue college?
My parents.
Okay.
They were kind of forcing it upon me. My dad's always told me, like, hey, sports are not going to forever be there. You need to make sure you're getting your education. My mom she wasn't so heavy on me. She was like, whatever you want to do, I support you. I think just somewhere down the line, I just made it a point, like, I'm going to play college sports. I'm going to get through college, and I know what I wanted for myself. The people that I looked up to, that's what they
Right.
did. So it was only right for me to do it as well.
Yes, sir. I mean, going to college for sports, like you said, it is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
What did you study in college?
So I have a bachelor's in business administration.
Okay.
So I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do,
Yeah.
but business was so broad. And how I saw it was everything has business in it.
Right.
Money is made everywhere.
Yeah.
So if you can get a background in that, I can pretty much put myself in position to do anything I want.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I saw it, and that's why I went with business.
Dude, that's so cool because most students have that degree that are athletes, and to know that your advisor was literally in your same spot, it makes them completely relatable.
And that's where I think I have a really good relationship,
Right.
like, with a lot of the kids. And they hear me because, like I said, I go through those things, or I went through those things not even 5 years ago. Like, it was like 4 years ago, I was in the same exact shoes because I'm
Right.
only 25.
Yes, sir.
So, and that's another thing, like, too, that, like, I'm younger, like, I know what they're going through.
Right.
I've been there. Like, it was just recent that I was going through it, so they understand that. And I think that's what helps me and gives me a little bit of an advantage just in my position right now.
Dude, you're 25?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. All right, then. Okay, now we got outside of sports, outside of advising and stuff like that. What are your interests, hobbies, and passions?
Man, simple. I'm a simple guy.
Okay.
Family, sports, obviously basketball, football.
Right.
Self-care, I would say. I invest a lot into myself and making sure that I'm happy and
Right.
I'm doing everything that I want to do. And then working out, just health, overall wellness. It's kind of, like I said, away from sports. I don't really play sports anymore, so I had to stay active and just kind of started picking up weights at some point and just living a better life, or trying to live a better life as far as health and wealth.
I'm a add that you're young, so of course you gotta look good, you gotta feel good, things like that. Family is good. I think family is always great. But they gotta be, unless you're really in love with your job this much, there has to be something that spins your mind. You're on the game. Okay.
Of course,
Okay. So he's just young. All right.
I'm a young guy. Yeah. I don't go out like that.
I
I'm in the house with the guys playing the game. Like I said, it's just me. So I moved out here. It's just me.
Okay.
So I live alone, all of that good stuff. So I'm on the game with the guys. I'm actually looking into getting a dog soon.
Okay.
Just need that companion. But other than that, yeah.
This is true. Okay, let's do it then. All right, then let's go ahead and dive into your career then. What is your vision of advising? Like, what's your the way you see advising, the purpose you see in it, and how do you run advising as far as athletics and stuff?
Man, I look at it, I tell people all the time, I'm the advisor, but I look at it like a big brother role.
Mhm.
Like, for me, like I said, I'm not much older than a lot of them,
Right.
if not close to, like, really close to the same age. Yes, I deal with their school and their academics, but I also try to give a lot of life advice.
Right.
I've dealt with a lot of things. I've been through a lot of things just in my short 25 years.
Right.
But also, I just think that if I can share my story with you and how I went through something similar to what you're going through, and it helps you, that's all I can ask for. So with advising, like I said, yes, I deal with their academics and I go through and, hey, you have this homework due tonight. Next week you have an exam. all these things, but also just checking up on a lot of these kids. As you know, with social media today, it can get tough.
Yeah.
So just checking in, hey, how's the family? How are you? I often try to ask the question, outside of basketball, how are you? Are you
Right.
okay? How is life? Is there anything I can help you with? Anything, what I'm saying, that you just want to get off your chest? You want to vent, anything like that. Just making sure that a lot of these kids are okay.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people don't ask that question. They're who's helping them outside of, because, in sports, they got coaches. The coaches are yelling at them, asking them to perform well. We're asking them every day in school, hey, you got to go to class, you got to go to treatment, you got to go to practice, you got to do all these different things. But like, who's really checking on their mental? Who's really making sure that they're okay? So I think advising, like I said, obviously is the obvious schoolwork and making sure they're doing that, but also just checking in on them, making sure that they're okay, and just being somebody that they feel like they can come to and just talk to about life problems with. And I tell them all the time, I'm not gonna lie to you. I might tell you something that you might not want to hear, and that's okay. Like you can hate me today, but you'll love me in the future. Like you'll always know that like if I want to hear something true, Tez is gonna tell me, and that's kind of how I try to live my life and tell them like, hey. Like, even if they're in trouble, I'll tell them, like, hey, this is what I'm going to say.
Right.
I don't want you to think that I'm lying on you or nothing. If you feel some type of way about this, I apologize, but this is the truth. I'm not going to lie for you. You can be mad at me now, but, at the end of the day, all I do is care for you, and I want the best for you.
Yes, sir. So I definitely know what that feels like, because I think out of my experience, the advisors are the ones who have firsthand interactions, inspiration, and impact to the students before professors, deans, all those guys.
Exactly.
I may not even connect with you. You're just here to give me information, and sometimes I don't want to come to your class. But, so for me, though, whenever I got the chance to actually spend time with my advisor, get personal, like really start, having that check-in of, hey, is everything okay, and stuff like that. A lot of it, well, I want to ask this. How do you handle, this may not be for you, or I see this better for you, because that was the most impactful thing to ever hear from my advisor. Sitting there in computer science, and she's looking at me like, I see all the things you do. Like, I see all the devices you have. I see your videos. I see you around campus. Like, all you do is media. We have a major for that, And then on top of that, it was more of, okay, cool. We're checking in every week instead of just this one-time meeting where, how's your grades this week? What is challenging? Is it going to class, or is it, like we kept it under the academic bubble, of course, because we had other resources that she pointed me to and everything. So I can just, okay, cool. I know you're here to help me with my grades and stuff like that. But like I was saying, like just going through the transfers, going through the failures, the rearranging, things like that. What is your way of handling that?
Man, just explaining to them, like, my whole objective is to see you be successful. And we might have to fail a couple times to do that. And that's okay. That's a part of your journey.
Okay.
And just sitting down and talking to them, this is why I think this.
Right.
And for a lot of people, if you can break it down, see it step by step, this is what you do. I know this is what you like. This is what you told me on multiple occasions. Is this something that interests you? Right. Ultimately, it's your decision. I'm just telling you my opinion. And like I said, it's your life, your path. Ultimately, I'm not going to force you to do something you don't want to do.
Yes, sir.
So just explaining it to them like that, I think you'll be successful to do this, X, Y, Z.
Right.
When you finish, get your degree, you can go into this field. You already said this is something you're kind of interested in. Maybe even go back, get your master's in this. Now you got bachelor's degree, master's degree, and you're at Stephen F. Austin.
Right.
We could talk to you, start putting you in position to maybe get a job after you're done here. You're already at Division I. If it's within athletics, you're already Division I, which is where a lot of people are trying to get as is. You're building connections. Just trying to break it down, give them the whole big picture.
Yes, sir.
This is what it looks like. This is what it would look like. And then if that's not for you, okay, you want to stay in this, that's fine. This is what that can look like. And just, like I said, just giving them multiple options to break down, what it looks like in segments. So next 2 years, you're finishing this. After that 2 years, boom, you're getting your master's. After your master's, you're moving on to this or whatever it looks like for them. So just breaking it down ultimately and telling them that I'm not here forcing you to do anything.
Right.
I'm not, like I said, this is just my opinion, but ultimately it's your life.
Yes, sir.
So you have ultimate control over that. I'm here to help you and just help you the best that I can.
Okay. I'm gonna limit my questions, like my personal questions, and I'm gonna go back to what I was supposed to
I
ask.
got you.
So, how did you get to SFA? How did you get to this position, everything else like that? Because we know you graduated and everything else like that. We finished with football, but how did we get to SFA?
So after I graduated, I didn't know where I was gonna go. I
Okay.
was lost. I had no idea what I wanted to do, anything. So I graduated early, so I had like 6 months to kind of figure everything out.
We could tell you graduated early. Like, yeah.
So I had a chance to figure everything out. I'm just applying for jobs, GA jobs, football, basketball. It didn't matter. I was just applying. Got an opportunity to go be an academic advisor at a small JUCO college out in the middle of Iowa, Creston, Iowa.
Wow.
Southwestern Community College. Miss Kim Bishop called, gave me an opportunity. I took it. I'm a person that I will try anything. I will up and move and go anywhere.
Right.
If I feel like it's a good position for me, I'll go. Which I felt like it was, because in college, like you said, we had our advisor. Eventually, I started to learn that stuff on my own.
Yeah.
So once I started learning on my own, I stopped going to my advisor and was just picking my own classes. I could look at my own advising sheet and be like, oh, I need this class, and just sign up for it and keep going. So I knew a little bit of it already. So when I got to JUCO, it was really good for me. It was definitely vital for me to go JUCO to end up here.
Okay.
So once I got to JUCO, learning more, just kind of was that I was like the first advisor for athletics on campus there.
Got you.
So kind of just set that whole thing up. Me and my boss worked closely every day, just trying to set everything up. That first year, then my second year there, because I was there for 2 years. It was my contract was for 2 years. So after that second year, it was just kind of like picking it up from year one, and it was great. I had a great time there. I learned a lot. My boss, like I said, Miss Kim Bishop, can't thank her enough. She helped me a lot just in growing and understanding and what to look for, what it would look like. So then 2 years there ended up, I didn't know what was next after that.
Right,
so I'm back in another position. I'm like, I don't know. So I'm applying for jobs again.
Back to the drawing board.
Yeah. So I'm applying for jobs again, man. Oh, man, athletics is always changing. I knew I wanted to get to Texas. So I've always wanted to live in Texas since I was 15, 16. I don't know why.
Right.
It was just something I've always wanted to do.
Welcome.
I appreciate it. So I'm applying for jobs. I actually thought I was going to end up at an internship at NC State.
Okay.
So I was interviewing there. In the course of going through those interviews, Miss Jordan Berry called.
Okay.
She reached out to me, interviewed here. And then, eventually just ended up getting a job. And it's funny because she offered me the job and I was like, can I call you back? I kid you not. 3 hours later, I call her back like, I don't need time to think. Like, I accept it. She was like, oh, good, thank you. She was like, I thought you were gonna tell me that you didn't want to come here, and I was like, I know Texas is where I want to be.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't pass it up. Division I athletics. Like I said, advising. I didn't know that advising was something that I would do. If you could have told me when I was in college that I would be an advisor, I'm like, you're lying. But I've slowly started to grow like more and more into it. Like I said, I do like the big brother role and kind of being that person. So it's definitely grown on me over the years.
Yes, sir. Okay, then. I do got to know though. Most people might feel like your job is not hard. Like even you said, oh, I can just look at the catalog and figure it out. But what is the day-to-day, semester to semester challenge as an advisor?
Man, since I've gotten here, it's been a big change. At JUCO, it wasn't as intense as it is here. Since I moved here, it's a lot just because you got to think I'm dealing with, 15, 16 guys, 16 girls, whatever, plus bowling as well. I deal with more hands-on men's and women's basketball.
Okay.
So you got to think everybody's situation is different. So every day, I might have 2 kids who are really good in class who I just kind of got to check on. And then the next day, I might have 4 girls that are coming in that I know that I have to work, like for that hour that I have them, just working on them, like working with them the whole time. Like, hey, and as much as I'm not a tutor, sometimes I do have to help tutor and try to figure some things out on some stuff that I have no idea about.
Right.
So I'm reading through the directions and doing all this stuff too. But it's just a lot that goes behind the scenes, ordering books, stuff like that, advising. Like I said, we're about to have advising open up, registrations opening up. So getting everybody advised by their on-campus advisor, because they have 2 advisors as far as athletics. Like you said, you have a bunch of different advisors. So trying to get them advised for that, trying to get them to get holds paid off of right now. Just so many just different things. And then obviously, like behind closed doors, it's, you got APR points and just all these different things. Like it's certification is something that's big, making sure that you're eligible for next year. So that's something that's really big.
Man.
Like just counting like all the credits that you've taken. What did you drop? What didn't you drop?
Yeah.
What do you might have to retake? If you're transferring, what are you transferring in? Just all these just different aspects of it. Like I said, it can be a lot. But just day to day, it's just, somebody told me it's managing people, and it is.
Right.
Just managing, knowing who you have, and just making sure that they're on the right track to graduate and be successful here at SFA. So it can be easy as far as like picking classes. Like they can easily just go look and pick classes, but sometimes they don't understand like, hey, this professor, is a little bit tougher than this one. Or last year, a football player took this class and he didn't do so well. Why would we put you in that? I'm not going to put you in that to be unsuccessful. I want to put you with somebody who I think you're going to be successful with, and why I think you're going to be successful. So it's just different things like that. It's a lot of different moving pieces. But work they say 8 to 5, that ain't always the case. Some days it could be 8 to 8, and then you got work on the weekend, and then so like I said, it could be a lot in a week, and you're just like, okay, I done worked 8 to 7 every day. I'm supposed to be off at 5 o'clock, So, but that's just the life of athletics, man. You just got to know that comes with it. So, like I said, we do a lot more than what the job description actually says.
Was advertised.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So now I got to know, like, how do you calm the storm? Like when you got certifications, you got the whole works. Like I know there's a time, midterms pretty much, when everything is at a rush. You got so much chaos going on and everything else like that. How do you actually hone in and make sure, like, yeah, we're gonna get this flowing again?
For me, it's a lot of, like I said, working out. Like that's kind of my piece. So every day I'll leave work, go work out. All that stress goes to the workout. After that, it's a new day. If that doesn't work, man, I reach back out to my mom. Like I go to my mom. My mom is like my best friend, my everything. If I could, there's not words to put what she is to me. So she's also the person I confide in. So I'll call her and be like, hey, like I'm struggling with this. Like, what do you think? She's been a manager. She's been a boss. So she knows a little bit, and she'll just be like, sometimes you just got to remember why you're doing it. And I didn't know why for a long time. I really had no idea. But like I told you, it was these last couple of years has become a thing where like I think that I went through what I went through to express to the youngers, to the youth, and share my experience and my life and what I went through, and that's really why, and that's what calms it. Because every day, these kids are relying on me to be the person that they come to and, and help them be successful. So every day I get to see these kids, man. They come in, they joke with me. Some days we argue or whatever, but it's just like a big family. Like it's a big village, how we should say. We all just got to keep showing up for each other, making sure that we're all okay. Also, like I said, my coworkers, Caitlin, Karis, Walt, they've welcomed me with open arms. My boss, Miss Jordan, she's welcomed me. She's helped me a lot. She asks about me all the time. Am I okay? How are you doing? Just all that thing. So just the people in my village, and like I said, everybody that shows up for me, little do they know, they help me out a lot. Just checking in on me. I seem like a guy that I think I come off just like I'm always okay.
Yeah.
But even just the small, hey, are you okay? Are you okay? Or you need anything like that? Like for me, that stuff goes a long way. So like I said, they calm the storm for me. And they listen to me vent, vice versa, try to listen to them vent. And then, like I said, other than that, it's going to be my mom. If I can reach out to my mom and really get it all out there, like I just need to get it out. I don't really need you to say anything back to me. I just need to get it out, and then we'll leave it there.
Right.
So just having her to be that listening ear at the end of the day if I really need it.
Yes, sir. Okay, then. Now, what is something exciting that faculty and students can be excited about that's going on in advising for athletics? Sorry. It was the 2 A's. It just had me stuck. So what are some fun things going on in advising for athletics for students and faculties can be excited for?
Man, I don't know what's exciting as far as advising. I don't know. Y'all
don't got no events going on, something students should be looking out for, And if not, do you have any advice you'll give to students to handling the rest of the semester?
Yeah, no advice. Get the help early. As far as exciting stuff goes, nah, not right now. Like I said, it's a little hectic right now. Just trying to make sure everybody's good to get it advised. Like I said, registration is coming up in October, the end of
Yes, sir.
October. So that's a big thing I want to say. But as far as advice, man, start learning how to do some things on your own, just so when you do go meet with your advisors, you understand what they're talking about.
Right.
Because I know sometimes we can get caught up and just get to talking and spinning and spinning and spinning, and you're like, wow, I'm so lost. So just knowing a little bit about what classes you need to take, what's your major, and all that good stuff, and then you'll be fine. Like I said, it's not a lot. If you can sit down and ask your advisor just to kind of, can you just break it down to me?
Right.
Just kind of, the more you look at it, like with anything, the more you do it, the more it'll start making sense. And I think that'll help you in the long run. So, if an advisor is trying to put you in a class, you're like, wait, can I switch it for this? Do you think this will be as hard?
Right.
Or, I think that just gives you a better understanding of why you're taking the classes that you're taking, what it's going towards. Because a lot of people don't even know that you have a core curriculum, which is like your English, math, science, those things. Then you have your majors, and then you have your minors, then you have electives. So like,
they got some layers to it, yeah.
Yeah, so they're like, wow, that's a lot. Like, I didn't even know I was taking all of that. And then they're asking the questions, why am I taking this? Well, you have to fill your core curriculum. Oh, what is a core curriculum? Like, okay, like now I got to break it down to you, and like if you can learn that stuff, like you're golden. Like just something that simple will take you a long way. So when you're taking interpersonal communication, you're like, why am I taking that? Why can't I just take English 1 and 2? Where you're like, you got to fill your core curriculum. Like, oh, okay, makes sense. Right. All right. And then you can keep going. So that's just my advice. Just try to learn a little bit. I understand it's school, it's classes. You're just like, I'm just here just to take them.
Right.
Whatever. If you can learn just a little bit of that, you never know. A kid like me, like I said, didn't think I'd be advising, but just learning a little bit of it got me to where I'm at now. To be here at SFA. So
yes, sir.
You never know, man. You just never know.
Thank you, Domantez Coleman, for joining us today and sharing your insight into the world of athletic advising. It's been a pleasure learning about how you've helped student athletes achieve success in all aspects of their lives. Remember, listeners, to subscribe to the Cheat Sheet and follow us on social media and stay connected. This is King Musa signing off, reminding you to keep pushing, keep achieving, and keep telling your story. Y'all have a great day.